some other game also features the same opening. Then we do have, Arjun has also reacted with c4, c6 against Nepo, so this is a very scary kind of situation for Team Black, because I don't know how deeply they have discussed this, but Team Nepo, Team Hikaru, Team Fabi were actually very much into this variation, because for some reason they also saw that c6 is the best move, and they went very deep. So the reason why I'm so worried, let's just quickly put the pieces. I will try to reconstruct because we haven't seen everything, but something like knight g3, knight g6, d4, d5 appeared on the analyzing board, and here the point was that it looks like the move c5 is not dangerous, or it's dubious, because black is in time to simply break with e5. But this was exactly the position that the team Hikaru discussed, and they came to the surprising conclusion also for them that e5 might be a mistake, which basically everybody plays here because it looks so tempting. You want to always use this move. They were discussing d takes e5, bishop takes e5, then the knight was jumping out to d3, black's bishop was going back to c7, and something like e3, short castles, bishop c3 followed by f4, and they came to the conclusion that this looks very promising for white.
But do we have to believe everything they say?
Well, I understand what
I
they
mean,
mean.
I understand, they have, with all respect, of course.
Well, but excuse me, the bishop on e8 is kind of dead, the knight on c8 is dominated by
You're
the pawn
picking
on
on me on my bishop on e8. This is what he got.
Yes, and white is coming with f4, and like Nepo was highlighting that, yeah, only the rook on a1 is a little bit strange, but who cares, everything else is perfect. So
This
I'm
is so
very
funny.
worried.
This is so funny. Peter said the rook is strange on a1. I mean, that's the only piece almost that it stands like in classical.
And look at this, Nepo against Arjun, they are already blitzing. Jan wants to get this position, and he thinks that if I get this position, I will crush my opponent.
Yes, and we see that also Hikaru plays knight g3. It's on the board.
On the board, yeah, knight g3, and this is such a logical line that it might appear. It's like there is 90% chance of this happening on both boards, unless Vincent slows down, looks at the other game, and then he sees where does it lead. But I also don't believe that if you have played the move c6, you can really do something else, because c6 meant that you want to play d5, you want to play in the Slav spirit.
Yes, but I'm sorry, h7 is hanging.
Yes, no, okay, but
So,
I mean
for
that
now-
c6, of course, he will play the move knight g6. That's kind of clear, but that he wants to rely on the Slav kind of spirit with c6, d5, fighting against white center pawns with b4 and c4, and this c5 move is really the essence of what team Hikaru and Nepo and Fabi came up with.
Well, my question is, for example, whether black wants to play castle very fast.
No.
And what about white? So, do they feel that the king is more safe on f1 and having the rook on g1, possibly even play h4 at some point? Or it would...
questions, but by pretending that he's unhappy, he's inviting me, let's make a duel, just liquidate. Those mind games are always tricky. So we are expecting rook d1, rook takes f4, and then bishop takes g6 is met by rook takes g4. Just to I'm highlighting there also takes rook takes f4. We are expecting some move like bishop f5 because Vincent just takes knight takes f4. Okay, is Vincent planning to fight? Somewhat surprised.
Actually, knight f4 I like because it's tricky. Knight h3, knight f4, two kind of moves. It can be or takes knight e2, knight d4. King h2.
Hikaru goes king h2. No, tricks will never work.
Maybe rook f8 now. What do you think about that?
Actually, the players are not too further after move 14. This is exactly move 14. It's also interesting psychologically that does any of the players have the intention to
h6?
h6, inviting king g3, knight e2 check. Please come closer.
But why didn't he play rook f8? I'm sorry.
I don't know. Okay, so nerves at stake. The bishop pawn on h7 is a potential weakness. He just wants to put on the dark square. Okay, rook f8 anyway. Rook d8, king g3 comes.
He offered a draw, right?
Yes.
You said something.
Hikaru offered a draw. But it's absolutely actually a correct offer. No, sometimes somebody offers a draw and you feel like he's worse and okay, yeah, he's trying to trick the opponent, but and Vincent is looking for chances. Is he think about this king f6, king g5, h5 idea, trying to break the construction?
Yeah, king f6, king g3, king g5, but I think white would be taking on d8 and then rook e7.
e7, yeah, just in time. Yeah, and the handshake correct. What a fight! It was a big strategy of knight h1 met by knight h8. A lot of finesses here. But Hikaru is unhappy. Why is he unhappy?
Maybe after knight d4 he thought there will be something more to come, more opportunities in the game. Well, he could not prove it that with his white